World Anti-Doping Agency. I'm talking about the president, Reedie, yes, was re-elected there, and one thing he really wants to do is to try and build bridges, with Russia. We understand during the Rio Olympics, so many things happened, and of course with Sochi, the 2014 Winter Games, and Vladimir Putin actually threatening Russia can actually pull that. But when you know Russia as a superpower when it comes to sports, they host tournaments, they have large contingents when they're competing.
Yes.
So he really wants to build that bridge. There's a kind of a gap right now between IOC, WADA, and of course Russia. Well, Reedie is actually saying that he's having a good relationship with the IOC, and also he wants to do everything possible to ensure that Russia is able to comply with all the anti-doping agency, everything they're putting in place, and just know that that country, it will be safe for everyone, and also for other athletes to know that Russia, they are complying, and of course they are dope-free.
Exactly, Cecilia. This all still stems from what happened. The states sponsored doping allegations actually climaxed at the Rio Olympics, where a lot of Russians were actually barred from going to the games. And I totally get where Craig Reedie is coming from. It's time to move on now. Like you said, Cecilia, Russia, they're superpower. Despite the fact that their team was decimated at the Rio Games, you still saw how many medals they won. So they're superpower. It's time to move on, and that move on will consist of the World Anti-Doping Agency working hand in hand with Russia's anti-doping agency and all the other authorities involved, so that the country can be compliant with the WADA code. That's very important. We can't really do without Russia in world sports, Cecilia. So I think the president is saying the right things, and hopefully they can get it right this time around, because we all know drug issues. It's been a scourge for a long time. Not good for the sport at all. And let's see how it goes from here, Cecilia.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, WADA president also confirmed that that particular McLaren report, the second phase, will be published December 9th. So maybe another kinds of ones will be opened. But then he wants to build bridges. Let's listen to him.
Well, it was a point that was made in the debate by Dick Pound. My guess is that Reedie would be saying this is not a permanent feature of life in my country. I think the facts are the McLaren Commission indicated that there had been breaches of the code involving the Moscow Laboratory and the Ministry of Sport. And to that extent, that's the scale of the exercise that we understand and that we have to deal with. I'm really keen, after 2 very, very long and unpleasant years, to put that experience behind us and to move forward. We do need to have Russia compliant, and then we need to get on with all the other things that will improve this agency. I think the establishment by President Putin of an independent commission run by a highly respected Olympic figure is a very good thing. I've known Reedie Smirnov for many years, and his report today it seemed to me to follow on very naturally from what WADA said. And I think we're making progress, and I wish him every possible success. And I would like to do this as quickly as we possibly could. And to that extent, I'm in his hands. The accusations against Sochi came to a climax in February 2014. That's 2 years ago. I don't have the statistics to my fingertips, but I suspect that the testing that has been done by UK anti-doping across all Russian sport over the last period will have shown a marked improvement, and that gives me some confidence. The simple answer is that they are the biggest country in the world. They're a very enthusiastic sporting country. Not only do they want to take part in competitions, they want to host competitions. The world of sport will run better with a really compliant Russia involved. I think my relationship with the IOC has almost always been warm and in an area of partnership. It was slightly less warm a few days ago at the ANOC meeting, when I got a series of questions that normally you wouldn't expect to get from partners. But I'm really encouraged after today, because if you listen to the discussion, particularly on the areas of compliance, particularly on the areas of whistleblowing, what we've been doing was very strongly supported, not only by the athletes who led that, Duncan, but also by the Olympic movement. So I will sleep comfortably tonight.
Okay, he's got a lot to say and, of course, a lot to do. His re-election shows that he would definitely want to ensure that our countries will comply with the anti-doping agency. We'll just wait for the publication of that second part of the McLaren's report. We can wait for that, because not just about Russia alone. You know, whatever happens, I mean, IOC and some other countries were actually not in favor of the initial decision not to ban all Russia athletes. All of them will definitely want to come and start talking. Depends on what we're going to see in that McLaren's report, the systemic state doping by Russia.
Yes, Cecilia, he has his work cut out. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, it's good that he's been re-elected now, but then he has a lot of work to do in terms of, you know, bridging that particular bridge it talks about with Russia.
Just build it. Don't build a wall.
Exactly. And as well as the other countries as well. The other countries are on the watch list that are not doing too well when it comes to complying
Ukraine?
with the water code. Yeah, so, so he has a lot of work to do. Cecilia.
He has a whole lot. Okay, you guys can talk to us on Twitter and on Facebook.